is as real as it gets.
Hey, this is Marcia Prince, IFBB Bikini Pro and Gasparri Nutrition spokesmodel, and you are listening to the UCW radio show, In Your Face.
The number you have reached, 911, has been changed to a non-published number.
You're listening to UCW Radio.
In your face.
Give it to me, baby.
Welcome to another segment of the UCW radio show, and this is your host, Louis Velazquez, and I want to thank all of our listeners for your continued support just by listening to the show. We do appreciate it. In just a little while, we're going to have the Obama girl herself, model and actress, Amber Lee Ettinger, on the show. Before we bring her on, I just need to talk about a couple of things. First, the Ultimate Body TV show. I've been speaking about it for several weeks. It's the first of its kind reality show. It's a bodybuilding reality show coming from the mind of David Lyons. He is a producer of the popular biker show Hog Heaven, as well as the producer of the animated feature Creepers. And basically, you have 13 men, 13 women. They're competing for the title of the Ultimate Body. And actually, to tell a little more about it, I'm going to run the promo so that our listeners can get a better idea. The website is theultimatebodytvshow.com. That is theultimatebodytvshow.com. And here's the promo.
In the challenge of their lives, 26 ordinary people train the old-fashioned way through blood, sweat, and tears as they compete for the title of the Ultimate Body. In this compelling dog-eat-dog reality drama, the contestants are paired together as training partners by host, champion bodybuilder Mr. USA Bob Ciccarello. 4 personal trainers help each pair survive the grueling and extreme training routines combined with rigid contest dieting. And if that's not enough, they must also face extreme challenges by the trainer from hell. While living together for 10 weeks in a city where dreams come true, unexpected temptations and shocking alliances toughen up the competition for the contestants who must eliminate a pair of training partners each week. When the dust settles, the training partners split and everyone stands alone. 6 men battle on stage for the ultimate male body. 6 women face off for the ultimate female body. As 3 celebrity judges, Hall of Fame bodybuilder Rich Gasparri, Bikini Pro Marcia Prince, and Natural Mr. Universe Doug Burns decide who ultimately will win their title and walk away with a feature in a major magazine, a fitness endorsement deal, and $50,000 in cash from sponsors Gasparri Nutrition and Anytime Fitness. Who has what it takes to become the Ultimate Body?
And as we've mentioned a number of times, we are going to be hosting the Ultimate Body radio show, so we're pretty excited about that. Another big thing going on is celebrity boxing. Stephen Baldwin, Christopher Gambino, they came together to have celebrity boxing. It is to support the U.S. troops. Now, Stephen Baldwin, he created the Now More Than Ever Fund. He's out there a lot, doing a lot of great things out there. He's been on the news lately, on a lot of talk shows. He's been on the circuit. And he went to see our troops. Something sparked something in him, and he wanted to help. So the Now More Than Ever Fund, well, there you go. And on Wednesday, February 3rd, 2010, at the over 18,000 or even 19,000 seat Bank Atlantic Center in Sunrise, Florida, that's between the Super Bowl and the Pro Bowl, all happening in Florida, so it's good timing. You're going to have Christopher Gambino going up against Stephen Baldwin. Now, that's not the only match, of course. Roy Jones Jr., the boxing legend, also signed up. And you have a whole host of other celebrities that are just lined up, but they're not being announced yet, and I can't make mention of it. But trust me, you will not be disappointed. You can go to their website at mycelebrityboxing.com. That's mycelebrityboxing.com to find out more and keep track of it. And we are doing the radio show for the celebrity boxing event. So, again, something else that we're pretty excited about. Now, before we bring Amber on the line, I want to let our listeners know we want to hear from you. You can give us a call and chime in and let us know what you think, or if you have any questions or comments. for our guest, feel free to do so. The number is 323-952-4369. That's 323-952-4369. And, this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I just want our listeners just to hear this promo.
This is a Multiview special report brought to you by National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This October, National Breast Cancer Awareness Month celebrates 25 years of promoting awareness, education, and empowerment. Breast cancer used to be a disease women didn't talk about and feared. From its first advocates, including former First Lady and breast cancer survivor Betty Ford, National Breast Cancer Awareness Month has helped bring women together to speak openly about breast cancer and confront the disease head-on. Currently, there are approximately 2.5 million breast cancer survivors in the United States. Diane Blum, Executive Director of Cancer Care and a founder of National Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Thanks to early detection and improvements in treatment, more women are surviving breast cancer, remaining disease-free, and living longer, healthier lives. We're proud of the great strides we've made in breast cancer awareness and treatment, but we recognize we still have a distance to go.
For more information, including mammography center and cancer hospital locators, visit nbcam.org. I'm Rosa DiCaprio.
Okay, and again, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, definitely everyone doing their part. And if you're on Twitter, you can shoot me out some questions, comments, just do so. My Twitter name is Louis Velazquez, that's Louis Velazquez. Follow me and tweet away. Now, without further ado, let's patch in the Obama girl herself, Amber Lee Ettinger. Amber, it's great to have you on the UCW radio show. I want to thank you for being with us this afternoon and taking time out of your busy schedule.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm honored.
See, you're not honored. I'm honored. So we're both honored. But you know what?
We're both honored.
We both are. But, I always say this at the beginning of the show. I do appreciate the time that our guests put aside for us because, look, you're busy, you're running around, you're doing stuff, and then we're doing the show, and we're annoying you at this point, but that's okay. We're here to tell your story. That's what it comes down to. I just want to have our listeners get a better idea, or more so, be more aware of who you are, because you're a model, but that's not your claim to fame. A lot of people know you as the Obama girl. I have my fingers up doing the quotation stuff. But before we go into that, because I'm interested in that, but that's not my priority today.
Okay.
My main focus is to find out about you, and I like to start out at the beginning of your story, the story of your journey. So let's get to the beginning of it when you got into modeling. So why don't you tell us how you got involved in that?
Well, I would have to say I started modeling when I was 3. I was in a few, how your mom puts you in some beauty pageants and stuff. That's how I got started into it. But I never really took it too seriously. I went to school. I did everything I had to do. I did little jobs here and there. But when I was about 13, I knew that I wanted to move to New York City and go to college here and pursue something in the modeling world, the acting world, and the fashion world. I just knew it. I was growing up in a small town, Hazleton, Pennsylvania. I don't know if you know where that is.
Oh, I know where that is. Everybody knows where that is.
And I moved around a lot. My dad was in the Army, so I moved around quite a few places. But I knew exactly what I wanted to do at a young age. So once I got to New York, the Big Apple, after I graduated high school, that's when I really started pushing the whole modeling and acting thing. And I would say then is when it became a job for me. Okay. A fun job, though.
Well, you enjoy what you're doing, but
I love it.
I hope so, because if you enjoy what you do, it's less of a job and more of you're enjoying your life.
Exactly. And I focused on school first. I wanted to get my degree out of the way and have that on the back burner. I went to school for fashion design, and I actually specialized in lingerie. So, I hope to have a lingerie and a clothing line and all that good stuff in the future, but I wanted to get that and go to school and get that all out of the way. And then I kind of started really pushing the modeling and acting stuff.
But before you started doing all that, I want to crank back a little further. Because you were doing your beauty pageants and stuff like that. You were doing the dance recitals. You were doing theater. And as all kids do, they have their music lessons. You're probably doing piano or something like that. Saxophone. Oh, check you out, getting all jazzy on us today.
Oh, and I wish I never stopped doing it either.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Sometimes when you're younger, you learn an instrument, and then you kind of like fall out of it because life gets in the way, and then you regret it when you get older.
Well, you know what happened? I actually moved to a different school in town, obviously, and the music teacher in the school sucked. Pardon my language. They sucked, and I lost interest because of that teacher. So I'm going to blame that teacher for it.
Yeah, well, let's blame that teacher.
Gotta blame somebody.
Yeah, you have to blame. Yeah, but you know what? This is why VH1 has saved the music to keep kids interested in music in schools and everything, and hopefully get some better music teachers out there. Well, actually, you do have some good ones out there, and they're doing some good stuff. But now I'm going off course. Let's get back on the tracks here. All right. So you did. You were doing your music stuff. Now you were a gymnast. Is that a fact?
That's a fact.
So you were doing your backflips, you were doing your floor exercises, you're doing your parallel bar, the uneven bars, you were doing all that stuff.
Yes.
I know a little bit about gymnastics. That's why I'm saying all this stuff. And then you did that. How long did you do that for?
Just for a few years. The thing with that is if you know, like you said, you know about it, gymnastics is a good thing to start when you're really young. Mm-hmm. And I started it late in junior high. And I think it's better to just start when you're younger because, you have no fear when you're younger. And as you get a little older, you kind of, you're growing, and it's not as easy to do as when you start out doing it as a young girl. So
especially
I did it for a couple of years while I was in cheerleading.
Well, especially as you're growing, because you're a gymnast and you're 4'0", and then all of a sudden, and you start growing. All of a sudden, you can't do the stuff that you used to do.
You can't flip around like you used to.
No, then you get hurt, and then you have all types of problems.
All types of problems.
Yeah. All right. So you did all that. You did your cheerleading and everything. You were one of the. I guess you were like the chicks in Glee, right?
Glee?
That TV show Glee that's on. That's a popular show.
I never saw that show.
Oh my God! How dare you? Where have you been? What do you live on the rock now? No, it's like the next big thing. It came out this season, and with me, I'm forced to watch everything because I have to be on top of certain things. So I suck it up and I watch it sometimes.
There's so many good shows out right now. It's just so hard to watch everything.
Oh yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Now so you went into your now we're gonna go back into your modeling. So you did your first your gig when you were what 13 or 15, right?
Yeah, I would say about that age. Yep.
Okay, but you were doing some modeling. This is before the show. We briefly spoke about it, but I told you I was going to touch on this. That you were doing some stuff with your mommy.
Yep.
Right, because she wrote a book.
Yeah, she wrote 14 books.
Wow, check. Why is she not on this show? What's going on here?
I know she should be on the show next.
I know.
My mom. My mom is the biggest inspiration to me ever. All my life, she has just been such a great, inspiring woman, and I'm so proud of her. She's owned and operated vintage clothing and jewelry store for over 30 years. She's moved it around. Every time my dad had to move somewhere for his job, we moved around. She had a bunch of stores all over, and she still has a store now in Pennsylvania, but she's written about I think it's 14 or 15 books about all those great things that she collects, jewelry and 1960s Pucci clothing and men's neckties and compacts and smoking accessories, all that good fun stuff.
That is so cool. That is so cool. And I like the fact that you put your mother up on that pedestal because that's where she should be.
Exactly.
So to your mama, kudos to her.
Kudos to my mom. And actually, me and her have a jewelry line together now. Did I tell you that?
No, you didn't. But you're gonna tell me now. Tell me about it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. When we lived in Kentucky, she started a jewelry line, and she called it Inspired by Amber. Mm-hmm. And she would make earrings and necklaces, and she sold them to different boutiques in that area. We lived in I think it was Hopkinsville. I was only 3 years old back then. And I used to actually sit at the table with her and help her pick out beads and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it was so much fun. And of course, then she stopped doing that because then she got more into her store and writing more books. So she kind of put that on the back burner. And then just about a year and a half ago, we have always wanted to do something together. Right. So about a year and a half ago, we were why don't we start up the jewelry line again? So we started it. We still call it Inspired by Amber. Mm-hmm. And we're working on getting that out right now, which is so exciting to be able something that she started over 20 years ago, you know?
Well, what she started for you, I mean, it was inspired by you, and she did all that stuff. Yeah, I think that's fantastic that you're able to work with her, and because you build that bond a little stronger than it was before.
Exactly.
Yeah. Until she starts yelling at you, and then you have to get to little arguments and stuff.
Yeah, our creative differences, right?
Yeah,
we haven't really had any. We're pretty much on the same page. But you know, we're still working on getting a website out. That has been like the hardest thing for us right now, is getting a website made, and that should be like the easiest thing, because don't like a million people know how to make websites.
Yeah,
it's such a headache.
Yeah, you know what the problem is, and I speak to a lot of people. Even though you think it's easy to get a website out, you develop it. You have to think about e-commerce and the different formats you can be in, and so on and so forth. And then on top of that, you have to trust the web developer that you have coming on. Because some of these guys, they work from home, they do their stuff, they're here today, gone tomorrow.
That's what we've been going through, unfortunately.
Oh, I could have figured that one out. As soon as you said website problem. Yeah, but you have to get.
And that's like the key. You need to have a website, especially because right now we aren't. We only have it being sold in her store in Pennsylvania, and we can't really start talking about it if no one really has a place to go and look at it. So it's like a big deal to kind of get that done. Yeah, you got
to do something. Tell your mama to get on the ball with this, man.
Oh, I know, but I took the lead control of it, so it's my fault.
All right, well, Amber, get with the program. You're holding your mother back.
I know, I am. I'm holding us both back. Sure.
But your mom, she wrote one of the books she wrote was Psychedelic Chick.
Psychedelic Chic, actually.
Oh, Chic. Oh.
Chic, yep.
You see that? This is what happens, and I told you earlier that I was drinking tea. And what's happening here is that I'm getting dehydrated, so I think my brain is kind of wandering. Dehydrated. Yeah, but well, that's what happens. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. But you modeled for your mom with the Psychedelic Chic.
Yeah.
And you did some stuff. And now, was stuff like that in catalogs and whatnot?
Well, we did Psychedelic Chic years ago. We worked on that together, and then just 2 or 3 years ago, we did a follow-up, like a part 2 to that. It was called Jet Set Fashion. And I modeled for that as well. I got a New York photographer to shoot it. We shot it in Pennsylvania. But we did all that in Pennsylvania, and it was just for that book.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool, though.
It was a lot of fun to work on.
That's very cool. Now, you were doing that now, but you went to FIT, right? Okay, but you had to go through. I mean, it's not easy to get accepted there, is it?
No, it's not. My best friend and I both applied, and she didn't get it. I was so sad. But when I found out, I remember getting a call from my guidance counselor. I was in art class, and I got a call from my guidance counselor to come down to the office, and he told me, and it was like the greatest day ever. Because I knew, like I told you, I knew when I was 13 I wanted to come here to New York to go to school. Well, so when I got accepted, that was kind of a big deal.
Oh yeah, that's a big thing. That's why I brought it up. That it's not easy to get into that school. But I'm sure that when you got when your guidance counselor told you that, you were happy. Then you left, and your friend was right there in the hallway, and you had to kind of put a different face on. I know you did.
I know.
You had to. You know what? But you grow up, things happen, and I'm sure she's happy in her life.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's not crying about it. I didn't get the FIT. I would have been a different person.
Well, it's funny because she wanted to go for interior design, and but now she's actually going to Penn State for what's it called, physical therapy. So it's something just completely different,
Yeah. Well, now she can help people.
Than what she originally planned on doing, which happens to a lot of people.
Yeah. But now she can help people.
Exactly, and she's been my biggest helper. She's like my therapist sometimes. She's like my best friend for forever.
Come over here, stretch out. She goes and she takes care of you. All right, so now you're in New York. You went to FIT. You graduated, and then you started pursuing your acting and modeling a little more feverishly.
Yes.
And
the great thing was I came here to really focus on school first, like I said, and then I started to get approached in the street, which is great because people are like, can I use you for this? Can I use you for that? And then that segued me into finding small agencies, and I would start doing extra work on commercials, and that's where I got really the bug for acting, like just being on set. And then that made me go out and get my headshots and go out and get my comp cards and then submit them to all the agents, and that's how I've had my agents for the past, I've been in New York for like almost 10 years now, so.
Oh, wow. Well, okay, can I ask you something? Because, you know, you just said when you were walking on the street, people will come to you and say, oh, well, you should be a model, this and that. You know, look, sometimes I go to the mall, and I see these, you know, these kids walking around, and then this, I don't know, you have these people going to people saying, hey, you want to be a star? Hey, you want to be a star? You know, what's your experience with that? And I want our listeners to hear that because you've been through it. And I know I've heard horror stories where people were approached and it turned out to be a nightmare for them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You cannot trust anybody. The biggest thing is if anyone approaches you or comes up to you in the mall, on the street, wherever, it's never legit if they ask you for money up front. Like if they ask you to come in for a meeting and they sit you down and they're like, okay, great, you have all this potential, I can get you all this great work, and give me X amount of dollars and you have to shoot with this photographer only, or give me this amount of money and then you're going to start making money. Never. That's always a scam. You should never have to pay for anything up front, ever. That's the biggest rule.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because, again, I hear horror stories, even with photographers.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you can...
There's a lot of crazy ones out there. You got to watch. Never go anywhere by yourself, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And the great thing is now Google, you could just search someone's name and you could pretty much find out anything you need to know about them.
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, okay, but do me a favor, if you can do this for me, because you know, let our listeners know what to look out for, what to beware, and as far as a photographer is concerned, because we had a professional photographer on the show, and he actually photographed, you know, some, you know, high-end models and, you know, that you see in Elle magazine and all that stuff now. And we went through a whole segment talking about that. But I like getting the perspective of the model as well. So maybe you can let our listeners know what, you know, when you're looking at a photographer, what is it that you're looking for and how can you protect yourself?
Well, I mean, the first thing would be recommendations, like hearing about that certain photographer through someone else. If you have an agent, having the agent recommend shooting with certain photographers. If you do happen to run across somebody on the street that gives you their card and says they're a photographer, I would say definitely like look into them, search their names, see what kind of work they do. But if you do want to give them the opportunity to shoot with you, I would never go by yourself. Mm-hmm. You know, because you just can't trust them. You just don't know what you're getting yourself into sometimes. So always bring somebody with you, either, you know, your mom or your boyfriend or some sort of chaperone of some sort. I mean, there's all sorts of warning signs. Like, you could kind of tell by the, you know, I don't know how easy people, like, when I meet people and I know they're not legit, like, I just know. I'm really not gullible at all, luckily, but some people are. So you just have to be careful and cautious. And like I said, there's Google now, so you could look these people up and you'll find a lot of stuff about them. Just that way.
Well, I think you touched on something as far as being gullible. Because some models that want to be models, and they're not really models, but they want to be models. What happens? They they hook up with a photographer, and they're not going. They're so, I guess they want it so badly that they'll go and do things that they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, I know. And the thing is, luckily, knock on wood, I was never like that. It's hard for me to even speak for them. It happens all the time, though. Yeah. It really does. Or not even hook up with the photographer, but the photographer, you know, wants them to come and just take their top off and says, well, you have to pose nude because all the big top models pose nude. Like, this is what you have to do. Get used to it. Like, are you serious? Like, no, you don't have to do that at all. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. They do it. I guess, you know, there's a market for, you know, nudie pictures, and you have some photographers out there that kind of reel some girls in to do just that. Mm-hmm. You know, and those aren't nice people. And well, yeah, that's a little messed up, though. You know, but people they do that, and they do take advantage of. You know, people that are green in the business, and if you're green in the modeling business, you don't know what to look for. and you don't have someone to get advice from, you're kind of open to having issues. So yeah, as you said, they should look on Google and do that, and make all that happen. Now, moving forward, Amber, acting. Let's talk about acting. What are you doing acting-wise? Or what have you done?
Well, acting-wise right now, I am still doing a lot of stuff with Barely Political and Barely Digital, all the companies that, the company that worked on the Obama Girl stuff. So we're not necessarily doing Obama Girl videos as much anymore, but we have a ton of skits we're doing, and that's kind of constant acting jobs that I'm doing every week. I'm taking acting class now.
Okay.
Studying at Michael Howard Studios, which is awesome. And I'm just, auditioning for different things. I have 2 commercials, national commercials out right now, and I'm just trying to get some really good auditions.
Okay.
But it's hard.
Yeah.
Very hard.
Well, the business isn't easy. That's why, getting an angle and getting your name out there is definitely a big plus. And
right.
As far as filming an Obama video, I think you may be filming the Obama breakup video. If it thinks keep going this way. Your crush is over.
I know, right?
Yeah. All right. So you're going to acting school. You're honing your craft. What kind of what kind of roles are you looking to pursue?
Well, I mean, the one thing I seem to not have been able to touch on yet is film. I just want the opportunity to do films. I love actresses like Scarlett Johansson. I love the types of roles she gets. I love action films, and I just want to work on those because I've done the commercials, I've done a lot of posting, I've done the webisodes. So film's my dream.
Well, are you looking at indie films? Are you looking at big budget films? What is it that you're looking to do, or are you just open for a lot of things?
Yeah, I'm definitely just open. Obviously, I've gotten sent a ton of scripts, but they're not really what I'm looking for. A lot of people see me as, okay, she is this bikini model, she's this lingerie model, oh, now she's Obama Girl, so they see me as this one-way thing. I don't want a script where I'm playing, the slutty girlfriend. Like, that's not really what I'm looking for. So I had to pass on so much stuff, because I'm waiting for the good stuff. And I think that's smart. Like, I didn't want to just take everything that came my way. I don't think that was a smart thing to do. And I'm looking for a challenge. I'm not looking just to be in someone's film and it not do anything for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. And I'll just expand on that, because we, a friend of the show, Lana Taylor, she's a Playboy cover model. And, she's on Cinemax. She's doing that lingerie TV show. She has a couple other TV shows going on. And, her as well, she's looking to expand on her acting career, and she's not allowing herself to be pigeonholed in that type of genre. And that's basically what the script you're getting is like they're putting you in a little box saying, okay, you're Amber, you're the Obama girl, and you are going to be, as you said, the slutty girlfriend or the chick by the poolside taking her top off or walking around in a bikini or doing something like that. That's what they're kind of putting you in, right?
Right.
Okay,
yeah.
And you don't want that because you're smarter than that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like to think so. Thank you.
Yeah, I like that because now you're thinking about your future because, at the end of the day, and I say this to everyone, and I don't care if listeners get tired of me saying it, but this is a business, period, the end. If you run it as a business, then you're going to look at all your options as, okay, how is this going to make you look, and what does it do to the value of your brand? And your brand is you.
Absolutely.
So that's what you're looking at, which is a good thing. So you haven't gotten any good scripts rolling your way yet, huh?
No. Nope. And a lot of it has to do with maybe like I also don't have the right agents. I mean, I don't know. I work with small agencies here, and I am constantly working, and I'm happy. But it might have to just do with a lot of things. I'm just gonna be patient though, because I'm like really proud of what I've accomplished in the past 10 years, and I'm still young, and I know that I have many more years to go. So I'm not trying to rush it. I think when the time is right, something good will happen. And it only takes one person to believe in me to see me the way I want to be portrayed. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. The thing is, for you, you're lucky, and I say this because you have your mom. She's your number one fan. She's your biggest inspiration. With the stuff that she's done, it kind of puts you in gear for you to find success in what you love to do. It would have been easy for you just to go to FIT, go and learn, I don't know, how to sew or whatever you need to do, become a designer, and then all of a sudden that's what you're pursuing, which is still, it's as hard as pursuing modeling or acting.
Oh, tell me about it. Even the teachers at FIT, like gearing up for graduation, like they let you know, oh, when you get out of school, you're going to be working as someone's assistant, getting their coffee, and finding zippers that match a certain fabric. Like, unless you know somebody, like, it is so hard. And, like, they didn't even make you feel like, wow, when I get out of school, I'm going to maybe get a great job somewhere designing. No, it's not.
It's like, pass me a razor blade with that speech, please.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I would have to say I was a little bummed out when I graduated, because I was like, I don't want to find coffee and find zippers and stuff. Like, I don't want to do that. I just don't.
Yeah, well, some people, they go through the apprenticeship stage and they build up from there. But, in life, and you know this, you have your leaders and your followers, you have your sheep and your shepherds, and, you have your shepherds that'll go build up and spend the time because that's their dream, to become a fashion designer. So they'll go through the motions and do that for 10 years of their lives to go and get where they need to be. But for you, you found another road where you can still do what you want to do in FIT, but get there doing something that you love to do, which is acting and modeling.
Yes, and also I'm so, because my mom, I like to be an entrepreneur, too. Mm-hmm. I want my own business, and I want to start it up myself from start to finish. So I have that ingrained in me, that's,
Well, that comes from your mom, because of what she's done.
Yeah, it really does. She never had a boss her whole life. Yeah. She's her own boss.
Yeah, but so she does have a boss, and that's probably you.
No, definitely not.
Your mom will go and body slam you. Watch out. But look, your mom does. I mean, I'm talking about your mom a lot, but I think it's good when you're in an environment where you see someone doing something, and it inspires you to go and say, okay, I'm going to go find my own path to be what I want to be in my life. And when you see someone do that, become independent and go and find that and grab that brass ring on their own, and really go through the struggles, because I'm sure it wasn't easy for her to do all that stuff either.
No.
Yeah, you go through the struggles, you find your point, and you get to where you need to get. And she's done that, and that trickled down to you because you were able to see it.
Right, exactly.
See, I put that all into 2 sentences. How do you like that?
There you go.
Yeah. But now we're gonna go forward where everyone wants to hear about this. And I'm sure you've spoken about it 1,000,001 times, and I know it's getting old. But you're on the show, and you weren't on the show back then, but now you're on the show today. But when President Obama, now President Obama, was running for office, you had an opportunity to do something. So I'd like you to tell us how this came about, and because I know when the video came out, people were convinced that you were in love with the man. They were convinced. They were like, oh my God, she loves him.
She loves him. Oh my God.
Yeah, so tell us that story, Amber, because that it actually gave you some fame. It got you on national TV, probably international TV. And you went, it was just an opportunity that came around. So tell us how it happened.
This definitely wasn't in my plan to sing and dance about the President of the United States. Definitely wasn't in the cards, I didn't think. Anyway, so it was a big shock to me, just like it shocked the rest of the world that saw it. But I got asked to do it by a guy named Ben Rellis.
Mm-hmm.
He came up with this funny idea, and he shot me an email one day because he had seen my website. He, was looking for models or actors or whatever. He had seen some previous stuff I had done. I was actually Miss Howard Stern one
Oh, were you now?
And I think he had seen that. That brought him to my website, Amber Lee Online. Yeah, Miss Howard Stern, let me just tell you really quick. Okay. I did a commercial because he had his new station, like Howard TV. Mm-hmm. And I got hired to do a commercial. And then when I was there, the producers asked me, would you like to be Miss Howard Stern? I'm like, well, what does that require? But it was fun. I was Miss Howard Stern of like June 2007. Okay. And pretty much just had to go into the studio and shoot some clips talking about what Howard was going to have, who he was going to have on his show for that month, and this and that.
It wasn't any of the craziness of getting, taking your shirt off and all that other stuff.
Wait, say that again?
I said it wasn't any craziness like, having to flash the cameras or anything like that.
Oh, well, it was so funny. I had to go in and shoot these little, I forget how do you call them, like throws. What do they call them? What's that term?
What, promos?
Like a promo, there's another word I'm thinking, I can't think of it now. So they're like, Miss Howard Stern girls wear lingerie. I had no problem wearing lingerie. I model lingerie all the time for years. Like, it was not a big deal. So, bring couple different sets of lingerie. And as I'm getting changed, I just walked into the building. As I'm getting changed, they, pull me in onto the Howard Stern show. And then that's when I got to meet Howard. So I was practically in my lingerie. Well, I actually walked in my street clothes, and then he's like, well, what are you wearing? What are you going to wear? So then I put the lingerie on. And it was fine. He was cool.
Yeah, well, you know what? People hear him, how he is on the radio and everything, and they have a great misconception that that's how he is in real life. But it's not. It's the furthest thing from the truth.
Yeah.
But,
really cool.
But that's what happens. People judge you based on what you do, as opposed to finding out who you are. We had that issue where we had Michael Lohan, Lindsay Lohan's father, on the show, and people saw a different side of him. And that's what we're doing here with you. Ha-ha. Showing a different side.
I hope everyone likes this side of me.
Yeah, well, this side is the real you. You're not the girl, and I said this earlier, you're not the girl that, people thought that had a crush on Obama. You're not some ditzy chick going out there trying to get fame by doing a video, and then there's nothing behind it. You have something behind it because you're a smart girl. You went to FIT. You learned some stuff. You understand how business runs. And marketing is the most important thing with a business, whether it be a business, a storefront, a multi-million-dollar or billion-dollar company, or even if you're in the modeling and acting business, because again, you are your own brand.
You are your own business. Yeah.
Right. So now, Miss Howard Stern, now you're going to tell us about this crushing Obama thing.
Right. So Ben Lois shot me an email. He was very vague. I never met him. I didn't know him from Jack or a hole in the wall, however you say it. And he's like, I have this funny project if you're interested. And I was in Barcelona doing a swimsuit shoot, which, by the way, Barcelona is gorgeous. And I said, thanks, but no thanks, because I'm out here. And he wrote me back. He's like, well, we're not going to shoot it yet. Well, can you give me a call when you get back? So I said, sure. And I met up with him at a Starbucks in Manhattan, and he had his computer, and he, has me plug in a pair of earphones, and I listened to the song Crushin' Obama, and it was already sang by his friend, Leah Kaufman. And I was like, this song is great. He's like, pretty much, we're just going to shoot this video for YouTube, and you're going to be singing and dancing about this guy. You know who Barack Obama is? And I'm like, yeah, I saw him on Oprah. And, and I was like, this is such a fabulous idea. Like, nobody was really talking about this guy that much. Like, we met in May 2007.
Right.
Not many people were really talking about him. And I said I would do it. And I told a bunch of people afterwards, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this funny, like, Saturday Night Live type skit, music video, singing and dancing about this guy who's running for president. And people are like, who? What are you doing it about? And I was like, forget it. You'll see it when it comes, when it comes out. So Ben had told me, he's like, yeah, when we shoot it, you may have to do like 1 or 2 interviews about it. And I'm like, oh, really? That's cool. Okay. And we shot it a few weeks later. There was no script, really. Ben was ready to film it himself, but he realized he should maybe get a camera guy. So on Craigslist, he found the camera guy 2 hours before our shoot.
Thank God for Craigslist, huh?
Yeah, Craigslist, literally 2 hours before. He found him. We all met again at a Starbucks right by Central Park. We just started having fun, shooting different scenes. I'm, singing and dancing. I'm singing with strangers. People are looking at me funny. I'm on the subway, and people are like, what is this girl talking about? Why is she wearing this shirt with this guy on it? Like, we got people involved. We got people involved that were excited about it, and people that just want to be on camera. And it literally took 6 hours, and I just remember saying, it was a hot day. Mm-hmm. And I remember saying, once the video came out and whatever, like, I wish I had known it was going to get that big. I would have brushed my hair or something, touched up my makeup throughout the shoot. I didn't do any of that, I was just like, whatever. I had no idea that it was going to be what it became. So lo and behold, when it came out, the morning of it coming out, my house phone rang like it's never rang before. And it was every news station wanting to do an interview about this video.
That's funny.
And, yeah, I was just completely blown away. I got caught up in the moment, too, so I can't even tell you what I felt after. Like, I literally remember that morning, and then for so many days and weeks, it's like a complete blur, because I was just nonstop on CNN, on, Fox, everywhere talking about this video.
But it gave you national, international exposure.
Yeah.
And it kind of helped you, it got your name out there in a big way.
Yeah. And people didn't know. They're like, who put her up to this? Was it the Hillary campaign? Was it Obama's campaign? Like, is she just a crazy lady? Like, like, who did this? That was, like, the biggest thing. And obviously, it's a political satire video, and I'm the actress in it, and I had so much fun doing it, but it thrust me into this political world that I was kind of unfamiliar with. So what I got to be involved in and learn in this past 2 years has been just unbelievable. Like, I never expected to be at, primaries and debates and White House correspondence dinners and the inauguration, like, never in a million years. Ever, 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 ever. So it, like, blew me away. It was a complete roller coaster, and I can't even believe this day I'm talking about it, and it was over 2 years ago that I did it. I just can't,
well, Yeah, no, I understand that fully. The other thing is that when you did this and you got all the exposure, when I saw it, I'm going to give you my thing. When I saw this video, I looked at it, and I'm looking at it, and I said, what is going on here? And I'm looking at it, and you know what thought came to my mind?
What?
You go, Obama. Look at this. You got a hot chick that loves you. Because people thought, people really thought that this was something that you did and you were serious about him, that you were like madly in love with him.
Right. That's what it looked like for sure, yeah.
Yeah, but is that the truth?
I was never madly in love with him, no. Okay. I liked him. I did like him. I thought he was a cool guy, and I agreed to do it. Obviously, I wouldn't have done it for anyone else. I did it because I thought it was a good, funny, great idea. I thought it was a brilliant idea, but I didn't know what it was going to turn into. Well, had I known, I still would have done it, though.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. Aren't you happy you didn't do it for McCain?
Yeah, that's what I say. I say that all the time. I don't think if they asked me to sing and dance about him, that would have been too cool.
Well, I think you would have given him a heart attack.
Probably. Oh, God.
Like, oh, my God. But, but the thing is, by you doing this, you actually brought a lot of attention to him.
Yeah, when the video came out, he was polling at 11%. So, it has over 15 million views on YouTube, and it was seen over 100 million times. It definitely brought him attention, but when people are like, well, do you take credit for him getting as far as he did and then, winning? And I definitely don't take credit because obviously he did such a great job on his own. I just like the fact that I was like a part of it, a part of the whole campaign, like by doing this video, like our video's in history books now. And
oh yeah.
I don't know, it was awesome for me, and I got young kids involved in politics. Like honestly, I got so much fan mail and comments and everything, emails from people. Of course, there's some nasty ones, but you can't please everybody. But I got so much great feedback. I even got so many friends and family of mine to vote that never voted before. Not saying they all voted for Obama, but I got them involved, and that to me was awesome. I got myself involved. That was awesome.
But isn't it amazing? Just one instance, one thing that you did invoke change. Even if in one person you invoke change.
Yeah.
Which is
I know.
interesting.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah, it is, because now, I mean, you said just some family members got to the polls, they voted, and you connected with the younger generation.
Yep.
And that's a pretty cool thing. Now, did you get to meet President Obama?
Never.
Never? Yeah, you know why?
Why?
Because I don't think his wife would let him.
Yeah, that's what everyone says.
Yeah.
I hear some stuff about it, yeah. I understand. There's times when I'm like, it's not right, you know? I would have loved to just, even if he just sent me like a little note, I don't even know what it would say. I would have just like something from him.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually met his chief speechwriter once at a party in Washington, and he's like, yeah, we love your videos. Well, they're always playing in the office. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I just wanted a note from him. He's like, yeah, if he got one, I'd probably be the one that would write it.
Oh, that's funny.
I was like, oh, okay, never mind then.
Yeah, but you know the thing is, I mean, yeah, he's the president now and everything, but he didn't, even though he got elected, it wasn't so much, on his own. He had a lot of people helping him, So,
yeah.
But I think, for him, he's a modern type of guy, a cool type of guy. So I would think that he saw this thing at least 15 million times. He's probably he's probably 15 million of those 100 million. So
he had, when he commented about it, I had to go on the news after his comments and like talk about what I felt about his comments, because I think he had said about his daughter seeing it and not understanding it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to comment when he would comment about it. But I know Michelle at one point had said, if anyone has a crush on my husband, more power to them. But I don't think she likes me.
No, I don't think so either.
There's no reason not to. Like, I'm not, it's not nothing like that.
Yeah, but it wasn't a real situation. But sometimes, people get crazy.
And they still are. People still don't even fully know.
Yeah, well,
comments I get.
Yeah, well, I can imagine. You're getting hate mail and stuff like that. But this was a vehicle to get you the exposure, and now you're capitalizing it by pursuing your acting and modeling and things of that nature.
Right, but I didn't even do it for exposure. Like, honestly, that wasn't even the goal here on my end. I had no idea.
It was a goof.
So I was blindsided with this one. I thought it was just going to be another video, and at the time, YouTube wasn't even that. People weren't going on YouTube all the time.
But
they are now.
But you did it more as a goof. Like, okay, this seems like it'd be funny.
Yeah, this would be fun to put on my resume, I thought to myself. Like Saturday Night Live sketch.
Right.
That's exactly how I felt. And I even got to go on Saturday Night Live after it, which was awesome.
Well, that's very cool.
So much fun.
But the thing is, when you do something like this, and we talked about this at the beginning of the show, that people tend to put you in that little pocket, and they say, okay, well, this is all that you can do.
Right.
But we're saying, well, on this show, we're letting people know that this is not all you can do. That you're going to school, you're learning how to act, you're taking this up, you're doing modeling, you're open to different ideas from independent producers and so on and so forth. So you're not putting yourself in a position of just being good for this, for being the bikini chick or being the dumb girlfriend or the slutty girlfriend, that type of thing.
Right.
Yeah,
and I mean, even now I'm writing and producing my own show on YouTube.
Nice.
It's called 2 Girls, 2 Minutes.
Okay.
And
what's that
working
about?
on that, which is a great thing. We were the same company that does Barely Political and Barely Digital. Mm-hmm. We're partnered with them at their next new network.
Okay.
And so now me and my best friend, who's my co-host, Kelly Brady, we have a show online. And we started out just doing a radio show on Blog Talk Radio, which I'm sure you've heard of.
Yeah.
Blog Talk Radio. So we started doing that, and we were getting so much feedback, like, oh, we want to see you guys. We don't want to just hear your voices. And me, I love being in front of the camera, so I was like, Kelly, we really just should do a YouTube show. Like, this would be great.
Right.
So we actually just started, we're on our 7th show on YouTube, and it's like the number 13 most subscribed channel right now on YouTube, so it's doing really well.
Well, that's pretty good. And the thing is, by doing stuff on YouTube, you create your own opportunity.
Exactly.
And you're not at the mercy of a producer or dealing with SAG and all that other stuff. You're getting your webisodes out. People are seeing it, and then maybe a network picks it up. Even if they don't, you're still getting yourself out there, which is going to assist you with other things that you're doing.
Yeah, and the great thing is we since we started the radio show back in the day, this is a while ago now, I said to Kelly, I'm like, Kelly, we should like review a bottle of wine every show because we love our wine, and I thought it'd be a great idea. Maybe we can get some sort of sponsorship going. So now we've carried that over, and now we do it on our YouTube channel. So hopefully maybe a liquor sponsor or a wine sponsor sees it and wants to get their product out there. I mean, our show is a great opportunity to showcase things because we just pretty much sit there and have girl talk, but yet it appeals to most guys because we talk about dating and we talk about sex and we talk about all the stuff guys like to hear as well as girls, and we have fun guests on, and then we do a live chat every week for an hour, and then we cut down our videos to 2 minutes, so we'll have videos come out all week long that are all 2 minutes. So that's why we're 2 girls, 2 minutes.
Oh, that's a cool concept. So you're constantly getting yourself out there, getting stuff out there, and people they don't have to stay on the on YouTube for hours to see your show.
Yeah, real quick.
Ah, that's pretty cool. And where can they find your webisodes or your 2 minute?
Just go to youtube.com/2girls2minutes. 2 like the number 2, girls number 2 minutes.
2 and 2. I like that.
Yeah, and I encourage everyone to subscribe because that definitely helps us. The more subscribers we have, the better. And send us anything you'd like to send us. Feedback, questions, comments. We all love to hear it.
Very cool, very cool. Well, that's good, and that's what you're working on now, and basically you're looking at different scripts and everything. You're looking for that right part for you, so you can get involved in. And I think that any producers that are listening to the show, why don't you look a little deeper into Amber, and beyond what you see, or because if a producer is looking at you, what they're doing is they're looking at, okay, well, you did the Obama thing. But if they were smart, they're looking at your marketability. Because by doing that, you reached a large market. So now you're out there.
Well, the good thing is it's kind of a secret, so I can't blow out my secret, but I'm working with some great producers in LA right now for some possible show ideas. Nice. Which I'm super, super excited about, but I can't talk about it yet because I don't want to jinx it. No,
I don't want you to talk about it because then if you talk about it, then I have to cut you off.
Yeah.
Because that'd be screwing yourself. So we don't want that. We don't want that. We want you to succeed because anyone that comes on the show, we believe that their future is bright. The established I guess artists that we have on the show, actors, models, whatever, things of that nature, they come on the show to tell their story, but we also see greater things for them. You're on the show. Of course, I think that you have a big future in what you do. Beyond the modeling, with your acting, I think that you have a big future with that if given the opportunity.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah, but I think that these opportunities are going to come for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm patient, I'm just waiting for the right thing, like I said.
Yeah, well, I think the right thing's going to come along. I think that it's going to happen when you least expect it, probably, but it's going to happen.
Just like the other thing happened.
Yeah, it's just something that's going to happen. See, when you look for something so much, you want something so badly, sometimes it doesn't happen. And
it does not happen.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mentioned Lana Taylor earlier. Okay, she's a big Playboy cover model on TV, the whole 9 yards. Do you know how it all started for her?
How?
A friend went for a photo shoot, and she just happened to be there. And the photographer said, well, let me take some pictures, and that's it. That was it. That was it.
Happened.
Yeah, so and she's due for some really fantastic things in her life, as I know that for you, same thing with you. And you know what? We should get your mama on the show because I find her interesting.
She is so interesting, and she has such great stories, and she could tell you all about how she just totally renovated her whole store and took months, brought it back to how it was in the 1800s. She just did all this work in it. Yeah, she took out the ceilings and exposed like the tin walls, and she found I forget what they're called, stable doors or something, hidden behind plaster walls, like crazy stuff, like and she did it all because she loves to do it. She loves her store. She did this all for herself. I mean, Hazleton, unfortunately, where her store is, the business is not doing so well. The downtown area just doesn't doesn't have the good shopping, like, people don't go down there to shop. So it's hard, and I'm doing everything I can to try to help her drum up some business, because her store is literally like a treasure chest. Mm-hmm. And I know if people, stylists from New York and designers only knew about it, she'd be doing great. I mean, I think she should, like, but give her clothes, rent her clothes out for movies. Like, she has all this great stuff.
Oh, well, I think your mom, I think what you're going to wind up doing is telling your mama to come on the UCW radio show. Because I'll expose her.
Expose my mom.
Yeah, but that's good, though, because you know what? And you have to work on that website for her, because...
Well, I am. Actually, I'm not going to take all the credit away from myself. One of my best friends is working on it now. Unfortunately, she has a full-time job, and she's going to school. So I can only get her, like, once a week to come over. We try our best to work on it.
Full-time job. She's going to school. Please, tell her to do the website already.
Do my website already.
Oh, but do it already. But that's good. Once you get all that stuff done and the world, really gets exposed to something like that. Because I know the vintage clothing and the antique jewelry, that arena is big now, and it's getting bigger.
Yeah.
And she's like in there, so she just needs the exposure, But I want to get her on the show really, because I want to hear her story, same way we had you on the show and heard your story. So now,
perfect.
So
I'll set it up.
Yeah,
I'm my mom's publicist.
Well, then there you go. There you go. Set this up, But now the Obama door with you on the UCW radio show is closed. But what we want to do, and I'm serious about this, because I know your career is going to climb up as the months and you go by and as the years go by, and we want to have you back on the show.
Perfect. Anytime.
Yeah, perfect. We want to have you on here, talk about things, and I know the next time you come on the show is going to be a different animal. You're going to say, Lou, I did this movie, and I'm working on this project, and I'm doing this, and then all of a sudden, you're going to have all this fantastic stuff going on, and no one's going to be, beyond your mother, and, beyond that, the person that's going to be happiest for you is going to be me.
Oh, that's so great to hear. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. But, Amber, I want to thank you again for coming on the show, and, definitely get your mom to get in touch with us.
I will, for sure.
Excellent.
She'll be more than happy to do it.
Well, that's good.
And you're going to love her. She's the best.
I love her already. Tell her I love her already, but not, I love her as a person. I'm not trying to pick her up. Let's get that right now.
Yeah, okay, I'll let my dad know.
Yeah, let your dad know, because I'm not Howard. I don't go down that stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, we'll have her on the show, and then we'll go through stuff. So so that's about it for this segment of the UCW radio show.
Initiating shutdown sequence.
You're listening to UCW Radio. In your face.
What is your major malfunction?
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.